YouTube, what's going on? Crazyncman. The review train has just pulled into the station, and yours truly is going to kick out another awesome airsoft gun review. Been a long time since I've had a gun here in the studio that I was just really stoked about. And this one, as you can tell by the title, it is the G&G GR15 Raider DST blowback. And this is one fantastic gun. And in my opinion, for 200 bucks, this is the best gun on the market. The best place to spend your dollar. G&G, made in Taiwan. You just can't beat this. So, before we get to the gun, we're going to touch on a little business, of course. First of all, AirsoftAnswers.com. If you have questions over here on YouTube, please do not leave them in the comments section. Come on over to AirsoftAnswers.com. We'll get them taken care of over there. We're quickly approaching 1,000 users. There's over 5,000 questions and answers on there. Been a lot of fun. Please use it. I put a lot of effort into that site. So if you want your questions answered, come on over there. Yours truly will answer them along with the rest of the crew. Second of all, I really want to thank you guys for the unbelievable support for the cold steel knives at Airsoft Carolina. We sold out hundreds of those in a matter of days. It was insane, so I appreciate every single one of you that bought one. I went to reorder from Cold Steel, and they were like, what the hell, you sold them already? So I appreciate it. That was just, like I said, that was insane. So every one of you bought, all 300-400 people that bought one of those, appreciate it. And we'll have some more. They're on their way, so don't fear. The Cold Steel rubber training knives will be back. So, anyways, let's get on to the review. Like I said, this is indeed the G&G GR15 Raider DST. This is one fantastic gun. We'll show you everything. It's so nice. I'm going to show you the box. We're going to smell the box. We're going to look at the hologram stuff on it. No, just kidding. Now, truly, this is, like I said, ever since the G&G came out with the combat machine and some of the other models, you know, they really stepped up their game. They've always made great high-end guns, but the problem's been getting the mid-priced market. And so they hit it out of the park with the combat machine, and then they started getting into all this other great stuff. And this is indeed, like I said, this is the best 200 bucks you can spend. So the manual, it's cool. One thing, nice thing about G&G, it's very short and to the point, but it gives you an excellent parts breakdown. And if you're not into reading the manuals, it makes a great poster to hang on the old wall. But the parts breakdown is indeed awesome. Gives you a 450 round metal high cap magazine, of course. Get you a little sample pack, actually a little more than a sample pack. G&G is nice enough to give you 1,000 BBs. And they're actually very high quality. And then, of course, the awesome G&G GR15 Raider. See, obviously, this is the Desert Tan model. According to G&G's website, I didn't have my scale here. It weighs in at about 5 pounds. It's a very nicely balanced weapon. Awesome look to it. First thing, I know a lot of you guys are going to notice, it indeed does have the Tango Down style grip, which is awesome. It's way more comfortable than any standard M4 grip that you get, especially on the lower priced or mid-priced guns. Then if we can do the old zoom in, it's got some very nice etching on it to complement just one awesome looking gun. Now, like I said, this is indeed the blowback system. And for those of you who don't know what blowback is, a normal gun here would cycle the bolt to eject the shell out of it. So the blowback airsoft gun cycles this the fake bolt, the cover, to give it a more realistic look. And I already have a battery in it, so we can go ahead and cycle it a little bit. Now, one thing you'll notice too, if you get your G&G and you're dry firing it, you'll say the bolt doesn't move very much. You can see it just barely moves. Upon actual firing with BBs in the gun, the bolt cycles more. It needs the back pressure of the system to complete its cycle. So when you first get it, if you dry fire it a couple times and you say it doesn't move, don't fear. It will indeed function a lot better once you have BBs in it. Like I said, 450 round metal magazine. Start down here on the end of it. You got a plastic flash hider, 14 millimeter counterclockwise thread. A lot of people ask me about this too. We get this question at Airsoft Carolina so much, I'm sick of answering it. Everybody says my flash hider is broken and chipped. And this is just another, you know, we all know an airsoft gun is a replica of a real gun, and this is the way the flash hiders are on the real thing. So they are not broken. They're supposed to be like that. And like I said, I am tired of answering that questions. I know Chris at Airsoft Carolina is tired of answering that questions. People phone us about it all the time. So anyways, plastic flash hider, 14 millimeter counterclockwise threads under it. The front sight starts into one issue. Like I said, I always try to give the good and bad and the ugly. The front sight is the typical of the new combat machine G&G style setup, where it doesn't come off without taking the entire outer barrel. So if you want to get rid of the front sight, you're either going to have to put a gas block on there, or come up with some other method to cover it. Or if you just totally don't want the front sight but don't want to modify anything, just take a damn hacksaw to it. But anyways, so that's one of the drawbacks I don't like about this gun, is the front sight. It does not, most of these will unscrew and slide off and leave the outer barrel. This one doesn't. The rail system's got a metal rail on it. Nothing fancy, but it's very nicely made. Clean, typical G&G. Your front sight, going back to front sight real quick, it is adjustable, of course, for height. Your rear sight, fully adjustable. You got your CQB and your pinpoint accuracy sights, and it does come off. Very simple to unclamp it, pull it off, throw your favorite reflex, ACOG, red dot, whatever you want it on there, and you're good to go. So rear sight does indeed come off. Clamps back on very easily. Like I said, it's fully adjustable. The body is a fiberglass reinforced nylon. Again, G&G, they set the standard for these plastic. We'll, for all intent and purposes, we'll call it a plastic body. Very tough, very durable, nice and thick, nicely made. Dust cover functions. Everything's tight. There's nothing loose. No cheap crap going on here. Of course, Taiwan guns, you always get a little better quality than the Chinese guns. Fire selector switch. Obviously, it is semi and full auto. You only have fire selector on one side, though. It is not an ambidextrous weapon. Crane stock, fully adjustable. We'll get to the crane stock here in a minute. A little more on that in a minute. I got this baby with a 9.6 volt Intellect battery in it. Functions really nice. Buffer tube, of course, is steel. You got a one-sided sling mount. It is indeed steel. Nice stamped steel. It's not that cheap cast crap. Like I said, you got sling mount on one side, and I haven't tried it, but obviously you should be able to take it off and flip it around, but not a guarantee because I haven't tried it, but I'm sure you can if you had to. And then, like I said, the Tango Down style grip, way more comfortable than any standard M4 grip you're going to get. Especially like my S system has a JG grip that just hurts your hands. The Tango Down style, it's a more ergonomic grip, nice and rounded, nicely textured, feels great. Awesome gun. Like I said, if you're going to spend $200 on a gun, this is the gun you want right here. By far the best $200 you'll spend. Now, of course, we touch on this in every video. The cheap guns have to give you a battery and a charger and name their first baby after you just to get you to buy it. This does not come with a battery, does not come with a charger. So yeah, you're gonna have to plink down an extra, $50, $60 for a good setup. Don't let that deter you. It will be the best, once you get it together, you spend $250, you're gonna have a nice unit and not some crappy clone. All right, internally on the gun, G&G website states it's a 233 millimeter length barrel. It's a 6.08 bore. Like I said, throw a tight bore in it, you'll have a really awesome gun. The gearbox, of course, is a metal housing. It's also steel gears. 8 millimeter oily steel bushings. 25,000 RPM motor, and it's just pure G&G quality throughout the gearbox. Another nice feature too, a lot of us, if you when you're done firing your gun, you have to put it on semi and remove the magazine, dry fire it a few times to reset the piston. On these G&G blowbacks, the forward assist button will release the pressure on the gearbox, so no dry firing needed. Once you're done firing your weapon, pull your magazine out. Of course, clear it a couple times to make sure there's no BBs still in it, and then you can press your forward assist and you'll hear the gearbox spring release. So you don't want to store your gun with the piston and the spring compressed, or eventually if you leave it long enough it will indeed lose power. So that's a nice feature to have a working forward assist to decompress the spring in the gearbox. But like I said, the gearbox, total quality throughout, has a one-piece plastic hop-up unit. The hop-up on it is very sensitive. It works very well. The one thing you will notice is when you first try to dial it, the wheel on it is very tight. So don't get all crying and carried away. It will move. It's just very snug, so it retains its position throughout the skirmish. So, like I said, the other thing too I want to talk about is the blowback system. What G&G did was you guys know, like my L85 has blowback, and how the L85 operates is there's a slide mechanism in there. It's attached to the bolt cover. And the L85 has a little piece that hits the back of the piston, so every time the piston comes back, it cycles the bolt back and forth. But it's a mechanical, it's an abrupt piston hits the thing every time. Potential to cause damage to your gun and your piston. We've all seen it on the L85. I removed mine when I first bought the gun, so I haven't had a problem with it. What G&G did, they redesigned the whole blowback system to where they run an exterior piston on top of the gearbox and utilize the back pressure in the piston to cycle the bolt. Therefore, there's no mechanical strain on the gearbox to give you the blowback. So there's no need to worry about disabling it. There's no need to worry about it hurting your gearbox. The only thing you have to worry about is maybe you blow an O-ring in the blowback piston, which is no big deal. It's got a couple little O-rings. But like I said, every time the piston obviously moves forward to blow the BB out, well, when it's on its way back is when it fills the chamber for the blowback system. So it's an ingenious idea. G&G was the first one to come up with it. And it's probably the only pneumatic electric blowback system that won't damage your gearbox at all. Like I said, you worry about blowing a seal, no big deal. O-rings and stuff are easy to replace. I know Chris at Airsoft Carolinas, he's serviced a few of these. They're not bad to service the blowback. There's a couple little tiny parts and pins, but other than that, it's a very simple system, very ingenious. So anyways, G&G GR15 Raider. This is one of my choices for probably the best gun of 2010. Again, throw a tight bore at it. They come with a standard bore barrel, and you're going to have one mean CQB weapon, and you're also going to have one mean field weapon, because this thing does have the range, excellent accuracy, excellent look. I wish I had thousands of these to sell, but we only got a few hundred. So get them while you can. G&G GR15 Raider. Let's go take it out back. We'll do a little shooting test. We'll do a little chrono test, and we'll see how this baby performs. That's GR15 G&G Raider 100 foot .20 gram BB test.